The Bears made the right decision. They made the right call. Pure as day, plain and simple, it was the right decision. In case you have not seen it, the Chicago Bears have agreed to an extension with general manager Ryan Poles, keeping him in Chicago through 2029. Slow down. Before you say, well, Simeon, you were out on Ryan Poles. You wanted this guy gone. And let me explain, it was all before we hired Ben Johnson. And everything that Ben communicated prior to being hired pointed to him viewing it as important that he is aligned with the general manager so that their interests are aligned, right? There's not competing forces. A lot of us felt like keeping Ryan Poles on as a lame duck was going to put hiring Ben Johnson at risk. But it turns out those two seem to have a great relationship. They seem to get on like best pals, best buds. You saw them in the draft room. These guys were aligned, and candidly, I think Ryan Poles let Ben Johnson run the show. Now, let's tell the truth. Let's call a spade a spade. Has Ryan Poles done anything specifically to warrant him being extended? That's a no. Did Ryan Poles get lucky? I would say yes, but that's okay. There's an element of luck to this. You have to get lucky professionally once in a while, right? The biggest, smartest, best thing that Ryan Poles has done is hire Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson turns out to be a raging success, guess who gets to enjoy in that success with him? It's you, Ryan Poles. I think the Matt Eberflus debacle was a nightmare. Now, some people will go and talk about draft picks and the trade for Chase Claypool, and I get all that. We gave away a second for him, but I also like the ambition because at that point in time, Justin Fields did not have talent around him to fairly be evaluated. And I understand the logic behind why he made that move. Taking a gamble, trying to put some more talent, some receiving talent in there for Justin Fields to perform and have a chance. Let's just be honest. Now, Chase Claypool ended up being a total nightmare. Lessons learned, right? By a young GM. Now, I do think it's worth pointing out Ryan Poles was hired January 25th in 2022. 2 days later, Matt Eberflus was hired January 27th, 2022. Do you think that Ryan Poles really had any time at all to run a thorough head coaching search and find his guy and hire him in just 2 days? Not a chance. That was not a Ryan Poles hire. Now, the buck doesn't get passed. Poles kept Eberflus around when we were going to be drafting a number one pick at quarterback. And I think a lot of us, including me, felt like Matt Eberflus was not the guy and should not be the guy and should not be kept around to nurture Caleb Williams and shepherd his development. And wouldn't you know it, we were right. That is the biggest flaw in the Ryan Poles resume. You might even be able to give Ryan Poles credit for actually firing Shane Waldron and actually firing Matt Eberflus. It was something completely against the grain and out of the ordinary and out of character for the Chicago Bears as an organization. And why this is the right decision by the Chicago Bears, Ryan Poles is no longer a lame duck and swinging for his job. His job is to connect with Ben Johnson and make Ben Johnson a success, thereby making the Chicago Bears a success. We were all begging for the Bears to do the obvious thing, to do this smart thing. They did that by hiring Ben Johnson. They went out and got the big fish. I'll forgive and forget last year, mainly because he did course correct and he did clean house. Bear down, baby.